Welcome to The Explainer. You know, it's pretty incredible when you think about it. How can a single idea, just a core belief, get thousands of people all over the world to move in the same direction? Well, today we're going to deconstruct a devotional piece that gives us a fascinating blueprint for how exactly that happens. How faith gets turned into a huge, coordinated, worldwide mission. All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the central theological idea. Then, we'll see how that belief is supposed to spark action in an individual. From there, we'll see how it scales up into this massive mission, and finally, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how it's all coordinated globally. Let's get into it. So, everything we're about to talk about really hinges on one foundational belief. Specifically, what's the point of miracles? And the source material grounds this whole idea in a very specific passage from the Bible.
Okay, so this verse right here is the launch pad for the whole thing. The argument being made is actually pretty straightforward. It's that miracles aren't just, random, amazing things that happen. Nope. According to this text, they have a very specific job: to build belief and to bring people to faith.
And this is really the key takeaway from that first part. In this view, a miracle isn't just a private, personal benefit. It's a public event. It's framed as a demonstration, a showcase of God's power. The goal? Twofold: to strengthen the faith of people who are already believers, and to, bring new people into the fold.
Okay, now this is where things get super practical, because this core belief isn't presented as some abstract theological idea. Far from it. It's translated directly into a clear set of instructions, a call to action for the reader. Let's take a look at what that is.
So, the text lays out this really clear three-step process. See, it starts with something personal, an internal reflection. But it doesn't stay there. It moves the believer outward, toward a bold public declaration. The whole idea here is that your personal story, your testimony, isn't just for you. It's meant to be shared. It's a tool for that bigger mission we're talking about.
And this is where we see the scale just explode. We're moving from the actions of one person to a massive collective mission. And this isn't a vague mission either. It has an incredibly specific, very ambitious goal. That goal is called Operation 500 Million Souls for Christ. 500 million people. That's just a staggering number. And this is where you see how it all connects. Those individual personal stories we just mentioned, they become the fuel for this much, much larger engine. It's all part of this huge evangelistic push.
And look at how they've structured this. It's actually pretty brilliant from an organizational standpoint. They offer 3 very distinct ways for people to get involved. You can be a prayer partner, that's the spiritual contribution. You can be a volunteer missionary, that's the physical, boots-on-the-ground contribution. Or you can be a kingdom investor, the financial support. What this does is create multiple doors for people to walk through. No matter your situation, there's a way for you to participate.
All right, so finally, let's talk logistics. You've got this huge global mission. How do you actually coordinate one of the most important activities, prayer, across all those different countries and time zones?
Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. Modern, everyday technology. A WhatsApp group? That's it. It becomes this digital command center, a hub that connects their entire network all at once for this really core spiritual practice. And this right here really gives you a snapshot of what that coordination looks like in practice. You've got people from different continents all jumping into a single synchronized event. So think about it. When it's midnight in Nigeria, it's 6 p.m. on the East Coast of the US, it's 11 p.m. in the UK, and it's already 4:30 in the morning in India. It's a really amazing example of modern logistics being used to organize a spiritual event.
So let's put it all together. What we're seeing is a direct pipeline, a funnel. It starts with this one simple core belief. Miracles are for demonstrating God's glory. And from that single point, it channels people into very specific, very structured actions. It scales perfectly from the individual to the group and all the way up to a global movement. So we come back to our original question. How does a core belief translate into a global, coordinated mission? Well, this devotional provides one really clear blueprint. It shows us how a single theological idea, when you combine it with clear calls to action and accessible modern tools, can become the engine for a highly organized worldwide operation. It's just a fascinating look at the architecture of faith in action.